Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be discussing Shadows Linger, the second book in the Chronicles of the Black Company, and the second in this first omnibus that has the first three. This was continuing a buddy read. I was joining in with Mark and slowly read on his channel. I will link that in the description. They're doing one per month, and so I'm trying to keep ahead for now. So far, I've been good for the first couple months. We'll see how it goes. But I had been meaning to continue. I actually read the first one last year, and so I've been meaning to continue, and it was a good reason for it. Really quick, I do want to note that while this will not have any spoilers for Shadows Linger, there will be some mild spoilers for the first Black Company book, since I'm going to be talking about what's happening in book 2. I don't go into any details on anything that happened in Black Company, but there will be a little bit of spoilers, so be warned. And Black Company is kind of a unique book and story with the way Glen writes it anyway. And that definitely was still there in Shadows Linger. It was very different still, but in some different ways that were a little bit unexpected. But we open in Shadows Linger to the Black Company kind of doing what they do best, and just this really cool introduction. I really, really enjoyed it. And then we abruptly find out that they're going to be heading off west to Juniper, traveling across just thousands or hundreds of miles to get there. And some of them, including, of course, Croker, are going to be going early via the flying carpets to kind of scout things out and see what's going on. And they're not really sure at the time exactly why they're going there fully. More details kind of come out later, but the lady wants them there, so that is where they are going. And so we spend time with Croker, mostly once he gets to Juniper, but we also spend time with Marin Shed, who is an innkeeper, and we get to see Raven and Darling where they had went to after they had kind of ran off at the end of the first book. And part of the tension in general is that, of course, Croker and the others want to make sure that they don't know where Raven is, because the lady can sort of, read minds. So with worried about that, they want to make sure that they don't know. And that's kind of the tension, is they realize that he's there. But a lot of the story actually doesn't focus on the Black Company at all, and it focuses more so on the character study of Marin Shed, and basically a man who has lived his entire life in fear. When you push him far enough, how far will he go and what will he do? And it was very interesting, and I liked those parts, and I liked the Black Company parts, but it also just felt a bit disjointed for me, where the two plot lines didn't really seem to be connected for the most part, besides just having characters we know in both. And the way it ended up kind of bringing it all together just didn't make a lot of sense to me. I feel like had some plot holes. So I did really enjoy overall both parts, and like I said, they just didn't mesh together as much, as well as the ending was a little bit odd as well. So I did enjoy this for kind of some different reasons, but I do definitely see, I'd heard a few people say they thought the whole part in Juniper was kind of odd, and I can definitely understand where they're coming from with that, because it just kind of was a little bit strange with what was going on. And so at this point, I'm going to talk a little bit spoilers to get into some details of the things that I thought were just a little bit strange, and the plot holes as I'm kind of noticing them. I did talk about this a little bit on both my Discord and Slowly Read's Discord with people, so I kind of get the reasonings, but anyway, let's get into it. So from this point on, there will be some spoilers for this book. I will leave a timestamp in the description, as always, for where you can skip to the end, where I'll kind of summarize and go from there, but let's get to it. So, but the big thing that's going on, the reason that the lady is sending the Black Company to Juniper, and the way that Raven and then later Shed are making money, are by basically giving corpses to these creatures in what's called the Black Castle. They use the bodies to basically make the castle larger, and eventually when they get enough power, it is a portal that will allow the Dominator to be risen out of his grave. So we know that the Dominator is still in his grave and buried. The lady and the Taken had been freed, but that's kind of what the point of this is. So We don't get a ton of information on it, but we do, once the Black Company arrives, they know they're supposed to essentially stop that from happening. And I will say, Croker and the others, they are distracted by the fact that Raven's there. They're not focusing that hard, but things start to get especially bad, I guess, when a ton of bodies are given, and it just seems like at literally any point they could have probably just, put some guards on the road or near the castle. It does seem like they're hesitant to get close or be seen, but even that is, I guess, I know they're waiting for reinforcements, but they're working with like the local duke, the local law enforcement, so why they don't put a guard there and even just pretend they're the duke's men. Even if they are seen, people still can't bring bodies, so I didn't really see the need for the secrecy. Later, they do decide finally, like, oh shoot, we better put a guard because people just keep bringing bodies, and they catch Shed like immediately with no difficulty. So that whole thing seemed kind of forced, and that's why originally I figured that had to be involved, but I was trying to figure out how it was going to be connected, just because nobody seemed to care that much about it. But so we end up getting a battle basically once the rest of the Black Company and the Taken arrive against them and the creatures in the Black Castle. We get more going on there, but once again, it's just that kind of connector seemed as kind of a plot hole where we wanted to keep having Shed go on do his thing, show the person that he'll turn into, and it just, I don't know. That's where it fell just a little bit flat for me. And lastly, I do want to really quickly read a quote from this book, because this really just kind of stuck out as such a really, really good quote that Cook wrote so well. And this won't have any spoilers in it. It does mildly for Black Company, I suppose, but not really even that so much. I do not believe in evil absolute. I have recounted that philosophy in specific elsewhere in the annals, and it affects my every observation throughout my tenure as analyst. I believe in our side and theirs, with the good and evil decided after the fact, by those who survive. Among men you seldom find the good with one standard and the shadow with another. In our war with the rebel, 8 and 9 years ago, we served the side perceived as the shadow. Yet we saw far more wickedness practiced by the adherents of the White Rose than by those of the Lady. The villains of the peace were at least straightforward. I just thought that was such an interesting look at kind of the whole good versus evil, us versus them, and when you have a book that focuses so much on war, it made sense, and I thought was just something that I thought was a really good quote out of this book. But overall, I did like this. It was very unique, and I've already heard from people who have started so far in March on The White Rose that book also is pretty unique and different. So Glen Cook just has an odd writing style, and it is something that's going to be interested. So I'll still be, of course, continuing at some point in March with The White Rose. The video will probably come out some point in April, but I do have, I think actually maybe all of the omnibuses at this point for Black Company, so I'll be continuing on throughout the year, trying to keep up with the one per month. I do have always a ton of other things, but that's kind of where I'm going from there. So watch out for The White Rose. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are, if you read this as a part of the body read, or if you just read this before, if you agree, disagree with kind of my issue with it, and what you think about the story overall. Make sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget, of course, to subscribe if you want to see more of my content.